What is up, our people?
Friends, how you doing, friends?
Oh, there's people in the chat, and I didn't even.
You
Hey, who do we got in here? Moto, Jeanette, Adam, JL. This is church. Hi, chat. Hi, friends at home. This is a mega live stream. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to you. Most especially, you're a seeker and you are seeking. We'll let
I've truly
folks
been
pile in
looking
here.
forward to getting back. Come
I
on
know.
in. Come on in and lock the door. It's scary out there in the world.
Can y'all hear this Christmas music playing in the background, or is it?
Does that sound festive or just annoying?
This is a country classic Christmas type mix, and there are some songs on here that are just not. They just seem like phoning it in. The last one was about Jesus and popcorn.
And one of them said dad's making popcorn balls. And I realized you very rarely see popcorn balls anymore.
Popcorn balls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was it? What do you stick the popcorn ball with?
How do you make popcorn balls?
Was it caramel? Yeah, you
Well,
don't see those anymore.
you never see those. I mean, you could make them, I guess, like in the way you make Rice Krispie treats. Like marshmallows would make popcorn go into a ball, but that would be so messy. Oh man, here she goes. The dog is barking and I can't make her stop.
That is just
Shit.
the life we lead.
Hi,
You don't see popcorn
everybody.
garland anymore. Let's just bring back popcorn, but keep it out of the songs.
Megan Sunday, thanks for asking about Italy. There was, it definitely was a work trip and not a, leisure trip, which we figured out really quickly. We were being hosted and that was really cool. And we got to see a lot of stuff, but it was really exhausting. And it sent me completely out of body because I just went into neurodivergent burnout really fast.
Yeah, it was an amazing.
But it
We
was
had
amazing.
amazing experiences. We went truffle hunting. We went to many wineries. We went to cooking classes. We went to location scouts. We went to my God, it was one of those things where from the time that we got there to the time that we left, there was never a moment that we weren't scheduled to do something. And I think in our minds we were like, oh, it's going to be kind of a sneaky vacation. And while opulent and amazing, we definitely kind of had to be on the whole time. So we got back looking, and then I had a gig in New York the day that we landed, and that went great. Doing some stuff with the band Guster, and so we had this fun live stream, and landed, did the live stream with Guster, did the shoot, and then came to my parents' home in Virginia for 3 days. All the trappings of a typical holiday gathering. I think we'll probably do a mini about all of this, but just a lot going on. And by the time we walked back in the door to LA, we were shadows of our former selves. And so it was interesting. My folks now live in Nelly's Ford, which is about 30 minutes outside Charlottesville in the Blue Ridge. And I grew up there, and I grew up in the Shenandoah Valley, which is a little over the hill. Hi, Jerry. Yes, we are going to relax, and we're not doing a whole lot during the holiday, but then we're going back to the Midwest for a couple of days for some Holly family time as well. Oh, really? Early cannabis experience soaked in Guster juice. You can still actually see the live stream if you're a Guster fan or a comedy fan. There were some really great comics on the show. Holly and I do a little bit at the beginning.
Good girl. Good girl.
The live stream's still up, so you can go watch that.
We aren't doing much for Christmas, but we are doing psychedelics.
Yeah, we are.
How else are we going to protest this capitalistic commercialized nightmare? Well, when
That's
you put
right.
it that way,
What's
I
gonna?
don't know, man. I don't know what
She
to
won't
do.
eat.
She has all the food.
We're dealing with an elderly dog who kind of hard to know what she wants. Maybe mint mushrooms, but we're probably some holly molly. So that's that's our Christmas. That's our Christmas. So I know that, you know what, the thing about she won't eat peanut butter. There are like days that she'll eat some things, and then other days she looks at us like we're the worst people in the world for even suggesting that she eat something that she ate yesterday. So let me go deal with that real quick, and Holly, you talk.
She will eat butter though. We have a great new trick to get. She has to have so many pills all day long.
Oh no.
This is gonna be. All I have to do is think about that high stream, y'all, and I will start laughing. When this whole thing came down, the facade, I talked about it in therapy. I was like, that was a really great moment. I've spent my whole life trying to like keep up appearances. And it's so much better when everything just fails. Oh wait, hold on. I have to be able to see the chat. I have to put on my glasses. Yeah, if you have more suggestions, Megan, I'll take a few more. I'm writing them down. Oh, that is a great way to lay and listen to music is really good. Really good. I might just lay beneath the Christmas tree. I have a Christmas tree that the lights blink in the same pattern that the Snoopy lights blink in the Peanuts Christmas, and it makes me really happy. For sister to eat. Yeah, what? I'm open. Oh man, Onion trying to buy InfoWar. I heard that like some judge struck it down. I think it's really interesting though. I used to work for the Onion News Network, and even got like one of my videos made, but mostly just was pitching a lot of like the headline title joke titles. Cream cheese is a really good idea. Pumpkin, she stopped doing pumpkin. The thing she does now is butter. We have room temperature butter where we just dip her pill in butter and then stick it to the roof of her mouth, and she licks it so much that she swallows it. So now she has a lot of butter on everything. No. Sorry, it looks like Greg is doing the magic. He's better at getting her to be quiet than me. Oh yeah, Gray shares some Australian Christmas traditions. Okay, let me write that down. Gray. Okay, was there anything else that I missed? I know sweet potato. She won't do sweet potato either. She used to eat way more food. Now she's like, she just knows she's got us by the balls. Wait, let me see. Did I miss any? Oh, got some of the best medicine in years recently. Hey, can I ask you a question, Pugsley? Is there okay? I know it's called acid, and maybe I'm just it's nicknamed acid, but both times I've done it, I had the most intense like heartburn right here, like acid indigestion. And I was like, is it just the like powerful suggestion of the word acid? But both times I did it, I was like bent over with heartburn pain. Is that a thing from acid? Are we allowed to talk about this when our tech overlords are listening? Oh my gosh, the best thing we did, I'll have Greg include this in the Discord when it comes out, but when we were in New York, we just so happened to be there on the one free night we had, because Greg had to site check and tech rehearse and all that stuff during the day, but we had the evening free. And Douglas Rushkoff, who has like the coolest podcast ever called Team Human, and he's the greatest thinker ever. I really love him. And Mitch Horowitz, who is a author and an incredible thinker, and he's a
Historian of the occult.
historian of the occult. And he is so articulate and smart. And the two of them, we went into this little back room of this little store in the East Village. We went over to Manhattan. We were staying in like this Fleabag hotel in a super.
I think you keep calling it a Fleabag hotel. It wasn't a Fleabag hotel, and it was $550 a night because it was December in New York.
It was a really bad hotel that made me sad.
I actually liked it.
You did? You know
Well,
what?
I didn't like it. I just was like, it was better than I thought.
For New York, it was quiet and we slept.
It was
Thank
a massive
God,
room,
because we had
weirdly.
such bad jet lag. It was the most massive room ever with a weird kitchenette that had no dishes in it. But it was like fluorescent overhead lights, and like there were
We didn't have to turn those on.
and there were no like closet doors on the closet. They'd just been ripped out. It was like
You make it sound like we were staying in a tenement. We really,
But
it wasn't that bad.
this is terrible. I shouldn't say this, but we were in this really strict Hasidic neighborhood, and I happened to be wearing a black puffer jacket because it's my only winter coat that I have anymore. And I was wearing black pants and a black puffer. And I was like, and everyone in the neighborhood, everyone's wearing all black, because they're very, I think, strict in some of the of the Hasidic community rules or of fashion or wardrobe or whatever.
What do we call it? Fashion?
And I was like, should I try to act like I'm going to see if I can like pass and like talk to some of them and act like I belong, like, because I'm wearing all black too in the neighborhood, because everyone was Hasidic and but every woman had like a double stroller. So I didn't have the double stroller. But even when I was like trying to like make eye contact with people and stuff, they wouldn't look at me. They still knew.
You don't pass.
Oh, maybe it's because I didn't have my head covered, but I did have a hood on. That has to, I don't know. But anyway, we went to this Team Human taping in this little back room between where we got to hear Douglas Rushkoff and Mitch Horowitz talk. And it was one of the coolest talks ever. And it was the only time I think I felt like myself and like my feet were on the ground for that whole 17-day trip. But the talk was so good, we should include it when it comes out. Has it come out?
It came out.
Oh, it came out.
Yeah.
I want to listen to it again. I'll see what I missed. Okay.
Let's do a little prov, shall we?
Yeah. Is there anything else? Oh, Pugsy. Okay. So that shouldn't be the case. So, okay. Because it has honestly kept me from, I know I needed a wig, but I had a wig because I was wearing a wig. I was wearing a wig in the show that we did in the Hits and Bits Guster show.
So you weren't wearing it around.
I should have put the wig on and then they would have talked to me. But actually maybe I should just leave everybody alone. But I was doing all these little protest things where I would like walk in front of Greg and stuff and like I'd be like, get thee behind me, man. But I'm just not a huge fan of organized religion. But are there any episodes I'm missing? Oh yeah, and Pugsley, thanks for saying that. I haven't done it again because I was so scared of getting that bad heartburn again. Maybe it was totally unrelated to the LSD.
Do y'all want to play bingo today? I'm not sure if there's a new bingo thing, but if you do want to play bingo, I can put the old link up in here. Typically, if you play bingo, the winner gets a pin, climax pin, or I can send you some stickers if you already have that. And let's see if I can find a bingo of old. If you all want to play any pagan origins of Christmas, decorating a tree is too pagan. Let's see.
I know. Happy winter solstice yesterday to everyone. I think that would be the coolest holiday to do instead of Christmas because it's real and it affects us. and the earth sustains us. And I almost said I want to get into nature religions, but I don't think religion's for me right now. But I do like rituals and stuff. Okay, Day lectures his mom about the pagan origins of Christmas. Okay, that's good. Okay.
And if you're just jumping in, welcome. It's the mega live stream. We're going to improvise an episode for you here in just a minute based on your Patreon suggestions. You, of course, can join the Patreon. And actually, in the new year, we'll just give you a heads up. We're going to migrate everything. Patreon, Apple, blah, blah, blah. It's all going to be under Supercast, which is going to be a way better experience for you and for us. And so we'll keep you posted on that. But we really hope that you'll enjoy that, because it's much easier to just plug into your podcatcher. It's a more podcast-friendly platform.
There's a history of psilocybin being related to Christmas? Wait, what is it? That's cool.
Well, let's
real?
do it.
That's cool. And yeah, Hanukkah is on. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
And Pugsley, all of you, thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. It really helps. I find LSD to be like easy mushrooms. It's like mushrooms without the challenging mushroom part.
Except I don't know if you've done enough LSD.
Yeah, I've only done it twice. I'm sure it depends on how much too. Yeah, I'm sure it depends on how much.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Are you ready? Let me record this for
3, 2, 1, blast off. You did great with Sissy. You quieted her down. Thank you.
Sometimes you just put the food in a different bowl and she likes it.
Yeah. Our kitchen sink is only bowls. It's just stacks of bowls because I use 8 bowls a day to.
Will you maybe go shut down that by the window? Just get her away from that. Y'all, this is the live stream is sometimes a little bit chaotic, but we'll get there. Now maybe give her a chew and see what's up.
Okay.
Your back is technically my back if you really believe that we're all one. So we all have each other's backs. Okay, here we go. Anybody use Supercast already? Do we have anybody using that for any other podcast they support? It's quite cool.
I'm so excited about switching to Supercast. I think it's going to be such a great platform. It's going to be really fun. We're going to have more regular high streams. I want to do those a lot. Okay, good girl. Lay down. Lay down. Not that one. This one?
Wish you could see Sissy. Why is this out of focus?
She's a sweet little baby.
Okay.
Okay, lay down, baby.
Make her sit. Wish we could show you sister right now. She's looking pretty damn cute. Okay, got your back.
Friends. Got your back.
See if I can even remember what Gray sounds like. I feel like I haven't done this forever.
I know, it feels, yeah. Who are these people?
And if you could give us a little follow and a like, that helps the algorithm too, I'm told. Smash that thumbs up on whatever device you're on. And happy holidays. Let's do it.
Wait, I'm close to getting her down. 1 second.
Just make her sit.
Wait, but I want her to go with her legs side saddle. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hiya, I'm Hallie Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. We love introducing you to members of our church staff, people from our community. Ooh, I always find it to be a treat and a treasure. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Welcome, Gray Haas.
Joyful, joyful. We adore thee,
Oh,
Hallie. And by thee, I mean he. And he is lit right now, isn't it, Hallie, with all this amazing holiday celebration?
he is so lit. He's lit up like that Christmas vacation house that had the lights all over it.
I've never seen that, but I am so excited to be here. We're recording this live in a live stream, and we've got amazing recommendations from our Patreon supporters. The and it is going to be just so fun to get into it with you all. That's not worth it.
The lights aren't worth it?
Anyway, Hallie,
Sorry, Gray. I was fixing the lights, and you were saying that we're doing this improvised episode based on suggestions from members of our Patreon, which we're so grateful for. And we've got so many good suggestions today.
that's right. Well, let's get right into it, Hallie. What have we got?
Well, first, I wanted to ask, and I also wanted to apologize ahead of time because I have an earworm. Do you know what that is? Do you have earworms in Australia?
Yes, I think I had an Uncle Nevis who actually caught an earworm, and for a while, that was what the doctors thought made him go basically insane. At one point, he thought that he could attach pieces of a motorcycle to his body and drive around as if he was Pat Motorcycle. He called it a moto tour, like a centaur, which an abomination just to even think about that. But they blamed it on some kind of worm that crawled into his ear,
Wow.
slowly started laying eggs, and it made him go mad.
Wow.
So yes, I have heard about that. Is that what you're talking about, Hallie?
Well, that sounds like our Minister of Health, RFK. He had a brainworm. And
Oh,
look,
did he?
he's fine. He's still a billionaire.
And he won. Yeah, what are
Really
you talking
only
about,
want
Hallie?
billionaires and millionaires in charge.
Yeah.
So that everything can be run like a business.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Corporate America is doing great. They
Well-
get labor for free, and all the shareholders make all the money. It's cool. Maybe that'll happen in the government.
Well, we do run Twin Hills like a business, and we are in the business of Christ. And I think a lot of people forget that the reason that we are so effective is because Steve is essentially like a spiritual CEO, isn't he?
Yeah, but the awesome thing about Steve is that he could make so much money. He could be like these billionaires like Musk and all these
Oh, I
guys
know.
because has so many books that are bestsellers. He, leads all these awesome conferences. There is a world in which he could be wildly wealthy. But you know what? As the whole church knows, he restricts his salary. And
Oh, does he?
Yeah, and he only makes a certain amount every year
Oh, that's
because he
awesome.
wants people to know that he is not in it for the money. This is solely about snatching people out of the grips of hell
Yeah.
and getting them to the gates of heaven where their name's going to be what? It's going to be on the list.
Isn't that great?
My earworm is, "Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie." I
wait.
can't stop singing it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of a completely different thing. You're just talking about a song that gets in your head.
Isn't that what an earworm is?
Oh no, I'm actually talking about a physical worm that crawled into the ear of my uncle and made him
Those
go
are called
crazy.
earwigs, and they have
Oh.
pincers on the back of their butt.
That might be it, because when they did an X-ray, they said it looked like the worm was sort of like at the controls of his brain. Just that's how they described it to us, using those little things, and they just kind of driving him around.
I mean, it happens every day. But I just wanted to say, if I start breaking into "Oh, little town,"
Why are you singing it like that, Hallie, though?
Well, because if you listen to the notes and the melodic quality, it's so joyful, isn't it?
Is it?
I can't stop. Forgive me. Saw me in half. Well, anyway, I thought we could start with hearing whether or not Australian Christmases are way different than Christmases here in, God's country, America. I mean, the whole country shuts down and we stop to honor the fact that, God impregnated this awesome teen. And, she had a baby in a barn and, we got to hit the mall about it. What do you do in Australia?
Well, it's a bit different in Australia, Hallie, because did you know that December is right in the middle of our summer?
Oh my
So
gosh, so everyone's hitting the beach?
everyone is hitting the
Oh
beach.
my
You know, a
gosh.
lot of times we'll do, instead of a Christmas Eve service, it will be on a sand volleyball court. You know, we won't do it in a church with all the, you know, the snow and everything that we do here. We'll be out on the beach. A lot of times it'll be some kind of beach-based tournament. We'll play bags. We'll play, you know, the one where you all stand around a little trampoline and hit a ball into it. I forget what that one's called, but so that's different. It's very summery. It, you know, it feels almost like 4th of July.
Oh, cool.
The baby Jesus is often portrayed in a manger, but the nativity, the creche, it's all sort of beach-based animals with a lot of sand. A camel might have sunglasses, which is cool. And so I think that sometimes was hard for me to get into the spirit of this kind of cold Christmas season
Mm.
because, you know, in Australia, Santa rides a surfboard.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
he doesn't have a sleigh, and it's pulled by iguanas.
Wow. Now, do Christians in Australia, celebrate the birth of Christ in a similar way to us?
They do, but you know,
Like, do you put up a nativity scene? Do you put up a Jesus and Mary in a manger in the front yard that, has a whole generated, blower machine to keep them
well, it's blowing
inflated?
sand.
Oh, right, right, right,
Yeah,
right,
and
right.
so we blow sand, we don't blow snow. People will cover their yards in sand.
Oh, cool.
It just feels like a more of a summery thing. We roll out the barbie, we just, really make it a celebration of summer and Christ specifically.
Man, that is so cool. And, did you I know you're still, having to crash at your buddy's house, Clay Mason
Ugh,
Bannerman. B
ugh.
What's wrong?
I just don't even know what to I don't know if should get into this right now, Hallie, but I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but my friend Clay
Clay
Mason
Mason
Bannerman
Bannerman.
has this neighbor. His name is Donovan
Donovan
Geo.
Geo.
Well, last night, we were coming down the street,
Oh,
and
no.
it was just a sheet of black ice.
Oh, no.
And, Clay right now is driving a Cybertruck that he's leased, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
And it's
How do
become this
those do
also.
in the snow?
Oh, they do great, except for if it's snow on the road, it can be a bit touch and go. And so as we're coming down the street, the wheels start to spin, and I'm like, "Where's all this water coming from all over the street?" Because, usually the plows and with the salt and the
They're on
plows,
top
and
of
they're
it.
on top of it. Apparently, Donovan Geo's also got a Cybertruck. It's bright pink. He ripped out the back of it,
Pink.
put in a jacuzzi, and he's driving it around the neighborhood with a bunch of guys in the back, and it's just sloshing water everywhere. It's absolutely frozen the entire cul-de-sac. And we were like, guys, you can't be doing. I'm also like, why do you have a Cybertruck? Your parents invented the Geo. Shouldn't you be driving that
He
piece
should
of?
be driving a Geo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he actually is contractually obligated to drive a Geo when he was born, but he's trying to fight his parents on that. And I was like, I don't want to get into the story of of all that.
Do they make Geos anymore, or are those discontinued?
I don't know. I think they caught on fire because the gas tank was over the engine or something.
Oh,
But it's just so disrespectful, Hallie. He's having all these what he calls holiday parties. He calls them ho ho holiday parties, and the street is basically a water pack now, a frozen water pack.
well,
And
somebody's gonna get hurt.
oh, somebody did get hurt. Clay stepped out of the car and immediately was upside down
Oh, no, is
and
that why
cracked
his
his
back is out?
coccyx.
Oh,
His
no.
coccyx is absolutely pulverized.
We might be able to edit it out, but I'm not sure we're supposed to say coccyx.
Anyway, Hallie, it's just been a challenging time, and it's so upsetting because I've had to really put up what I call a boundary
Mm.
between, and by a boundary, I meant I built a second fence on top of the fence that separates our houses.
Oh, good. You mean an actual boundary, because if you were talking about, like, these interpersonal boundaries, I think that's kinda liberal.
Right. I mean, it's
'Cause
it.
in Christendom, we don't boundary.
No,
We
no,
can
we don't
pray
need
a hedge of
boundaries.
protection against the evil one, and, we can excommunicate people, but
Well,
boundaries,
this has a. I mean,
I
this does
don't
have a
know.
hedge on top of the boundary that
Those are a slippery slope.
that I put up. It does have a hedge and then a bunch of circular barbed wire because just kept showing up, and I'm just like, how do you even get in here?
Oh, wow, barbed wire?
Yeah.
It's like Gitmo around there.
What?
I don't know.
So,
But I will
that's a bit of a
say, and
problem.
not in Donovan Geo's defense, because I will never come to that man's defense, not at least until he puts some pants on.
Well,
Please
you're gonna
tell me
have
he
to come
was
to his defense because I think there's going to be some civil litigation.
Oh.
And I don't want to talk about it now, but I have talked to some attorneys just about what to do because soon, it's going to be just sue. I think is the only way to do anything.
Sue Harris?
No, sue him.
Oh, Sue Harris is in my book club.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, as a
I don't think
Christ
Sue
fo
Harris is going to the solution for anything.
Well, yeah, and she's getting hit hard with the perimenopause, and she's very emotional.
What is that?
I think it's a time in a woman's life that is unmentionable, much like the way they used to treat pregnancy. Now they treat perimenopause that way. It's something that's unmentionable, that's unfathomable, that's unresearchable, that is not treated by the medical community. And it's a time in which a woman's body is maybe trying to get her attention, but since she's been taught to ignore it thus far for decades on end, she's certainly not going to start listening now. And so you ignore some uncomfortable physical manifestations that come about until they stop. And then if any younger women ask you about it, you say, I don't know. Everything was fine for me. And you kind of keep it in the dark ages. I recently, my son Day was telling me, I was talking about the dark ages as being, very dark because they didn't have a lot of Jesus back then. And so it was very dark. And Day said, Mom, do you actually think the dark ages were like darker, like there wasn't as much sunlight? And I said, well, certainly. And also, I think it was that they were into some pretty dark pagan stuff. I mean, Jesus is the light on the mountaintop and not the dark. So I know the dark ages were not of the kingdom. And Day was trying to tell me they're dark because there's very little recorded. We don't have a lot of information. And, and I'm like, "Well, that's most of history." You know what I mean? Because, women never knew how to read or write, so we didn't get any of their history. And, I think the oligarchs or the patriarchs or whatever were the only ones who could read and write, so there wasn't a lot recorded ever. I mean, that's why we first started church, I think, was because everybody was illiterate and wanted to know what was in the Bible, and only the leaders of the church knew, which my son Day says is all about domination and control.
What does this have to do with perimenopause?
Oh, see, I don't know. I'm currently going through this very strange thing where I get brain fog
I'm
and
sorry,
real
Hallie.
hot.
I stopped listening. It did remind me though. It did remind me though of part of the whole hot tub debacle with the Cybertruck is
The
that
jacuzzi in the cyber?
yeah, the jacuzzi was absolutely sloshing around, just the wettest jacuzzi you've ever seen. I've never seen a jacuzzi so wet. But I think Donovan Geo hired a drag queen named Perimenopause, and she was singing a bunch of the Christmas tunes.
What? Those are illegal in the state of Indiana.
Christmas tunes?
No, perimenopauses and drag queens.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Goodness gracious.
That's why lawsuit is pending.
But I wanna be very forthright that I am not coming to Donovan Geo's defense. I just wanna say that there is something very fun about being in a hot tub when it's snowing. And, we have a hot tub out back.
Well, you have a soft tub, Hallie.
I have a soft tub, and, I do all the chemicals and the chemicals for it.
Would you call that a hot tub, though? Because aren't they a bit Well, they're not like a full hot tub, are they? Because you have to sit on the floor.
They're just a little shorter. But I like it because you can lean against the soft siding, and I find it comforting. And it looks like a big terracotta pot out in my backyard. Well, Day and his friends just love it. I mean, they wish we used to have an above ground pool until one side of it collapsed, but the Day would get all his friends, they'd climb up on the roof of the house and they were jumping into our above ground pool.
Oh,
Talk about water going everywhere. Couldn't keep the thing filled up, had to have a hose constantly hanging over the side of it. Eventually, one side of it collapsed, and all the water drained onto one of my Frenchies and corgis. And so I got rid of it and grew grass in that spot. But now I got my soft tub out there. And I'll tell you what, the boys, a lot of Climax kids are hanging out in my soft tub. And boy, is it sweet when it snows. They sit there and they got a half-inch of snow on their head while steam's coming off them. They like the contrast of being out in the cold, but in the hot water. They do all these challenges with each other where they're, jumping out of the water and nothing but their swim trunks, running out into the snow, doing snow angels with their bare bodies and jumping back in the soft tub. Then the temperature's plummeting on that thing. I got to get out there and crank up the heat because they're putting their freezing cold snowy bodies in there. And I just wanted to give a shout out for how cool it is to be in a snowstorm whilst in hot water. I feel like that's what's going to be in my mansion in heaven. I'm going to definitely I'll have a full hot tub there because you can have anything you want.
right.
So I'm going to have a big old hot tub, and I'm going to order up snowstorms because I think it's cool.
Well, Hallie, maybe we should get into some of the suggestions given to us by our Patreon members.
Well, I was going to ask,
yeah.
did you and Clay end up putting a tree up? Because I know with his cracked tailbone, it might be hard. And you had said that you were going to be decorating a tree, but that maybe you had gotten to an argument about whether that was pagan or not.
Well, this is the whole thing. We didn't really get into the whole is a Christmas tree pagan, because I do think that Christians can make anything
Yep.
about Christ.
Yep.
And I think we've shown time and time again that when, something from history comes up that Christians do better, that it's completely fine to appropriate that and make it into something for the kingdom of God. I don't care about the history of Christmas trees, guys, because all these teens that are always saying like, "Oh, actually, that was a tradition that came, from Europe and wasn't really a thing, around Christmas." I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? It wasn't a tradition either. Decorating a palm tree with a bunch of iguanas while drinking virgin mojitos, but that's what we do in Australia sometimes on Christmas Eve, right? So I don't want to get into the whole he said, she said about where Christmas trees come from. The question is, do we have one? Yes, we do. It's not decorated because when we were putting it up, this was the day before the whole coccyx incident. Clay slipped again and, absolutely pulverized his, I don't know what you call the front coccyx, but he was using one of those step ladders, and it's like,
oh no, putting up Christmas lights.
Yeah, so he's just, his whole pelvis is completely just destroyed, Hallie. And I was just like, well, the only way we can get to the bottom of this and fix it is get you back in the gym. So, but he said, I'm putting up this giant. He put up a 32-foot Christmas tree in the living room because he's got those cathedral ceilings.
Cool.
And I said, I just said it's too big. It's too big. I can't handle this. And he was like, well, we're going to do it. And I just said, no, I'm not decorating that. He said, I'll do it. He got up on a little step ladder. I'm like, it's not high enough. Of course, just went over the front of it and smash.
Oh, it grieves the heart of God.
It does.
It sounds festive, and you know what? I got it on the top of my prayer list that God finds you your own condo soon. I know that you've been pounding the pavement trying to find a place to live. You're just crashing at your buddy's house
Yeah.
because out of the kindness of his heart, he opened it up to you.
Yeah.
And also, maybe he wants a little help with popsicles.
Well, Popsicles is with his mom this holiday season, and the only thing that he wanted, and I said, "Oh, it's a bit cliche," but he wanted one of those, what do you call them? Like the horse that's like the size of a dog?
A miniature horse?
Yeah, a miniature horse. That's what he wanted.
Wow, that is so specific. So he could ride a horse around in his Y fronts?
Yeah, and Clay got it for him,
Oh my gosh.
and it's got a chariot.
Well, you definitely make sure he puts on pants if he's gonna be riding a horse, because guess what horses have?
No, he rides in a
Fleas.
chariot, Hallie. It's a little cart that's behind it, a tiny two-wheeled chariot cart. He just
That is
rips around the
so
backyard in the snow.
cute.
I think it's a bit weird
Oh, well,
because he
chariots
doesn't
are
cut his hair now, and basically he looks like a wild child that is just like ripping around in a chariot. It's a bit odd, I
well,
think.
you
But
know
look,
what?
I'm not his dad. I'm not his dad. Clay, I'm like, Clay, this is your problem.
And Clay's not even his dad.
Well,
Clay's his
he
granddad.
basically is.
Well, I'll tell you what, chariots are biblical, and I love picturing those Egyptians on the chariots, trying to race down the open centered aisle of the Red Sea before God collapsed that water on them and drowned them and their chariots and their horses, in a way that only God could do. Well, I also just wanted to point out, because you said appropriation. And this is a new word to me. And what I always tell my daughters and my son, Day, is whenever my son Day is like, Mom, you can't wear those moccasins, it's appropriation. I
What?
say, you know what, Day? Guess what? You can't say appropriate without saying appropriate.
Oh,
And if something's appropriate, I'm sorry, but there ain't no appropriate without appropriate. And so I think I can do whatever I want, because I've got those moccasins with the fur inside. And frankly, they're cozy and comfy.
oh, is that what you're wearing today? I saw those.
Yeah.
Oh, those
And
are
they got
cool.
some beads on the top,
Oh,
making
that's
the shape
so
of a
cool.
bird or something.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And, I can't get away with anything without my kids just jumping down my throat, telling me why I'm wrong. But I really got them on the you can't say appropriate without appropriate. And if it's appropriate, I'm doing it.
That is great.
So, any hoodles, uh, Day is always, trying to tell me that that decorating a Christmas tree is pagan, and I won't hear it, because you
Yeah.
know what? I put on the Peanuts, Charlie Brown Christmas cartoon, where we hear loud and clear from God and Linus, and from a beautiful Christmas carol, "Hark the herald angels sing," and Linus is saying, "And the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid." And they're quoting scripture, and they're decorating a tree. And it's appropriate, I think, to make a Christmas tree Christian. We have a huge one outside the auditorium here at Twin Hills.
Oh, yeah.
We've
It's
got them all
amazing.
over the children's ministry. We've got them up and down the hallways. We've got them, it looks like what they do at the White House with all the trees.
Right.
We've got more Christmas trees on campus. The atrium and the food court, the Manna food court, is just dripping with Christmas trees. Don't tell me they're pagan. I don't even know what pagan means. I just know that it's satanic. And I know that Christmas trees start with CHRIST. And that's really
Awesome.
all I have to know.
I've never really liked, what is it? The Peanuts, Charlie Brown, because I'm always like, what is wrong with that kid? He's only got 3 hairs that like connect at each end.
Oh yeah, he doesn't grow hair that well. And Lucy's
Well,
always
clearly not, but it's like a rainbow hair. It's like 3 strands of hair that connect at each end. I mean, that's got to be a condition of some sort.
Well, my kids got all upset because they, paused the part of the movie where the kids are all sitting down at the table and all the white kids have a piece of furniture chair and they're all on one side of the table, and then the one black kid in the Peanuts cartoon, he's alone on the other side of the table and he's in a lawn chair. He's in a folded out lawn chair
Why
that
does
he
everything gotta be racial? It's
I
just, it's
know. I said
so.
it was probably I know that Peanuts is Christian, and I know that Christians would not separate out the black kid. I know that wouldn't happen. And they were like, "Mom, look at it. It's on the screen. It's right in front of you." And I was like, "Well, then it has to be an accident. The artist didn't mean to put
And
the one kid all by himself
how do
and
you
not even
know?
give him a chair."
And this is the thing, Hallie, when this kind of stuff comes up, and I don't, like I said, I don't watch Peanuts because I'm unnerved by the appearance of Charlie Brown and how his hair grows into his own head. But they don't know what happened the moment before, do they? Maybe that kid was like, "Hey, I want to sit in the lawn chair and
Yep.
I want to sit by myself."
Yep.
And so maybe they were actually accommodating him
Uh-huh.
rather than, separating him out. And again, like I said, I don't watch that and I don't show it to climax because generally teens find it very boring. But this year I've tried to show some other Christmas type things that just get them a bit more excited. And a lot
Ooh.
of them are just really funny, kind of like unboxing videos and stuff from YouTube that they get much more into.
Wow. Well, I mean, I've got the Christmas spirit, and I would. Is there something? Does Australia have an equivalent of peanuts? Like maybe it's just because you didn't grow up with it. What do they do to replace peanuts over there?
Well, Peanuts is actually based on an Australian comic. Do you know about this?
No, what's that?
Oh, th- have you never heard of the Cashew Crew?
The Cashew Crew.
Cashew Crew.
Cashew Crew.
Cashew Crew.
I
Cashew
love
Crew.
cashews, especially with a lot of salt. Oh, I love them covered in dark chocolate, milk chocolate. I'll even get a yogurt covered one. I love cashews.
The whole thing about Cashew Crew, though, that was, a bit ahead of its time was it had kind of a central character, kind of like Charlie Brown, but he was more into solving crimes and executing justice upon those who, were society's most illicit, terrifying, and dangerous criminals. So it was a group of kids that was essentially an assassination squad
Oh,
that would
wow.
go around and, essentially take out those who stood against God's justice. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was still cute
Well, speaking of
and pretty dry, actually, kind of the same dry delivery and things like that.
Well, speaking of Australia, I was wondering how you felt. We never talked about this, but in our leadership meeting this week, when Steve kind of called you out and said that your Australian accent had been getting watered down and maybe getting a little Americanized. And he said, "Do we need to send you back and get it topped up and get it back into the, I think it is a very high value to mega churches far and wide to have Australian people in leadership so that the world knows that we are committed to diversity, and we are international and we have cool, good looking people who talk cool." And, I think Steve was just looking out for you, but I wasn't sure if it hurt your feelings or if you
Well,
need to start taking some accent classes or what.
Well, there's nothing that Steve can say that would hurt my feelings, Hallie, because I'm always open for feedback.
Awesome.
And like I told him, absolutely. A lot of times I'll just be saying absolutely when he's giving me feedback before I even know what the feedback is, because I know whatever he says is going to be awesome. But as for the accent, that the accent, I have to admit, I've been here for a long time. I do consider myself to be spiritually American, but
Oh,
I do
cool.
think that it could always use a tune-up.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things, Hallie, where, Australia is such a bummer of a place
Is that
for the
right?
most part. So I don't really want to ever go back there. I never want to see my family again. And I don't really have any desire to go back there. But, I said, absolutely. Thank you, Steve. Absolutely. And was definitely down to what I would say heighten it or just, bring it back to where it was.
But if you never go back to Australia, how are you going to see your brothers Ash and Silver?
Well, I don't really care about my brothers Ash and Silva, and I don't know if I've ever actually uh, said their names before. But um, you know,
I looked him up on Facebook.
you did.
Yeah.
They're on Facebook.
I just wanted to know more about you. Yeah, they're on Facebook, and they
Well, I'm not
all.
on Facebook.
Oh.
I got off Facebook.
Oh, should I get off Facebook?
Oh yeah, Hallie. Facebook is so lame.
Well, I just don't want you to feel bad, my brother in Christ, because honestly, it's just that you've been here so long, you know? I mean, you've been in America now for, I mean, years and years
Yeah.
and years and
Well, just a
years.
few years because I'm not very old, but I do think that, Hallie, I have a spiritual family
Awesome.
and that's all I need. This
That's
church
awesome.
is my family. And I have amazing friends here that just felt like, I had a biological family. I've had to cut them out of my life completely because they're just not good examples of how to live a Christ led life. And I don't really want to get into the types of things that Ash and Gray do and have done and
You're great.
Ash and Silva have done to, for, and against my career. But,
Oh.
essentially, Hallie, all I'll say is what they do is their business, and I don't want to know anything about it or have anything to do with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I go down to Nashville. I love it down there. You got Belmont College, you got Belmont Church, you got Christians everywhere. Christian music playing in all the stores. Even the people writing country music in Nashville, it's pretty Christian adjacent, and they're writing about Christian, very moral stuff, about good heterosexual relationships and all that kind of thing. But
Awesome.
I mean, I get down to Nashville just for a weekend for fun. And the next thing you know, I'm like, hey, y'all, what's happening? How are y'all doing? And I just have a Southern accent without even really even,
Was that that was an accent you were doing?
yeah, yeah.
I couldn't tell the difference.
Oh, really? My kids make fun of me. They're like, Mom, why are you talking like you're from Nashville? And I'm like, oh, am I appropriating?
Yeah, I mean, I could do a Southern accent.
Oh, let's hear it. Say something Southern like, I just bought a new pickup truck.
I just bought a new pickup truck.
That is dead on.
Isn't that good?
That's dead
I
on.
have an ear for it.
So there's a country singer named Randy Travis or one of them,
Jackson Pollock?
Yeah. And Jackson Pollock has this song that goes, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than the hoochie coochie.
What does that mean? I've
Well,
never understood
I
that.
want to hear you do that in a Southern accent.
What's that? Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, things get hotter than a hoochie coochie.
That is uncanny, Gray. That's so cool.
I know. I mean, sometimes I'll do little voices. A lot of times when I'm doing some of my characters and stuff for my teens, I'll say, what if this guy came from Brooklyn, New York? What if Jesus was from Brooklyn? And I'll do something like that, like, hey, I'm walking here, something.
Oh, that sounds exactly like
And when he says,
Brooklyn.
when I'm walking here, of course, it's Jesus. So he's talking about, I'm walking on the Sea of Galilee.
Ugh, what about something from like London?
Oh, like, pip pip cheerio, guys. Look, I've got tea and a bunch of what the heck do they do over there? I don't know, Allie, but
Biscuits.
right. I would have to think about it, but a lot of people really love it when I do my little voices on stage.
What about something in a German
You can
accent that's
stop,
like
Hallie. I don't
hein,
really want
fein,
to. Yeah.
jine, twang?
Well, I don't think that's how it would be, but yeah, I can do them all, and so I'm totally, totally into that. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you to put me on the top of your prayer list because one of my daughters got a tattoo, and I have always told my kids that if they want to get inked, it's got to be Christian because I think Christian tattoos are super cool. I know you've got a bunch of them. I know it's cool to, make a cross out of the, nails that went through Jesus' hands or wrists or whatnot. stuff like that that's symbolic of Jesus, I'm all for, even especially if it's permanent. You know, uh, I'll even allow a Narnia tat, you know, because Narnia is basically the story of salvation and all that. But my daughter got a tattoo that it's a little confusing to me. She and her best friend Brandy got matching tats.
What?
And
Is your daughter even 18?
well, you don't have to be 18 if you're in a union. And as you know, she's in the welding union. And
I think that was a different kind of union they're talking about, Hallie.
the thing is, you know, in Indiana, because thank goodness, you know, we've got a Christian governor, we've got all Christian mayors.
Right.
Well, thank goodness now that Mayor Pete went up to the national level. Any hoodles, the
Not for long.
I
Loser.
know he's gonna come crashing down. But uh my daughter and Brandy, they got well, they say Brandy wants to be a hairstylist, which I'm all for, because if she it I have bangs and I have an asymmetrical cut, and that requires constant maintenance. It is tyrannical over here, and I don't even know what that means. But I'm excited about Brandy getting her beauty school license because you know, she can help keep me in my locks
Well, she's not going to need a beauty
fresh.
school license to get the haircut that your daughter has, because basically that just looks like somebody put a bowl on top of her head and cut around the bottom of it.
That is exactly how she cuts her hair. She puts a bowl on her head, but she does clippers around the edge. And she's got like a 2 on the sides. That is high and that is tight.
It seems like she maybe didn't even use a bowl, but maybe a colander, because at the top it's got all those little wisps coming out of it.
I know. I try to give her gel or like a hair wax, but she mostly is just throwing on some kind of a knit hat or beanie or whatnot, which I don't like because I think it's a little bit masculine. But anyway, hooters. My daughter and Brandy, they both got these matching like double scissor tattoos. And I think because
What?
Brandy wants to go to, you know, beauty school.
Well, what's the scissor have to do with your daughter?
I know. Well, I'm assuming that it's because, you know, she loves to work in a workshop. She has the like hammer loop on all her Carhartt pants and everything. And so scissors are just part of the outfit. She's got a little slot in her Carhartt overalls that you can put tools right there on your chest.
Does she even have scissors in that?
Well, she could, and that's what I'm assuming the scissors are for. So I don't know. And of course, I can't trust what she tells me when I say,
No.
"What the heck are these double scissor tats?"
I mean, Hallie, I cannot believe that you would let your daughter get a tattoo without your parental permission. And I'm just going to have to give you some feedback right now. That is, you've got to make sure that you know every decision that your teens are making. And this is just one that I'm going to have to call you out as a brother in Christ and just say, I think you've slipped.
I mean, I'm really gonna have to take it to the Lord in prayer. And you know what? You might be right. I'm feeling convicted in this moment. I'm a bad mom, and I need to
Yeah.
throw myself on the mercy of His throne
Well,
room
you should just be
because
clinging to the hem of his garment, unless that garment has been chopped up by a couple of pairs of scissors. Because I think right now, you've just got to make sure that you are being absolutely engaged.
well, you can get them taken off with lasers. We could also put a really big, heavy, dark Christian tattoo over the scissors.
I have a new one, actually. Have you seen this one?
Oh, wow.
It's on my shoulder. It's just a circle, and it's got the words, in him I am made whole. And, you know, if you just like, you can start it at any place, and made whole in him. See?
Oh, cool.
Whole in him I am made.
Oh.
You know, see, it's just awesome because no matter where you start, it says a different version of the same thing, and it's all around this hole.
That is so
Isn't
cool.
that cool?
That is so cool. And I being a mom, you'll learn this someday when, God brings a godly woman into your life to be your helpmate and you have kids.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited for that. And it's just bound to happen. And I'm really excited and just really praying every day because I know that God has a plan for me and the beautiful lady that he brings into my life. And I'm just really busy right now.
Oh, you're going to love it. I mean, you're going to have a wedding night. Oh, that's going to change your life.
Well,
I mean,
don't need to get into that, Hallie, because I already know. I do not know. I do not know the place or the hour, but I do know that it will happen.
yeah.
And
Oh, wow. Oh, just like God.
yeah.
Just like the return. Well, I'll tell you this. God is a parent. God
Are you saying a parent?
he is a parent
Apparently,
because he has a son. And we can connect more with our Lord and Savior, with God, the God of the universe, who also has to figure out parenting stuff. And it is challenging. I mean,
right?
it could not have been easy for God to make that decision to kill his child. I mean, although on many days I'd like to strangle some of mine, but that's a way in which I can relate to God because we're both parents and someday you'll be a parent. But I will say I'm getting sneaky as a parent, especially because, as you know, my son Day and my daughters are always looking for ways to discredit me and tell me that I'm old fashioned and I don't get it and I don't know and I'm being inappropriate and I'm appropriating and all this nonsense. So this year I headed them off at the pass because Day was saying all this stuff about how, it grieves the heart of God, but he says happy holidays and he wants to be inclusive of his brothers and sisters who might worship differently than him, etc., and so on and so forth. Yeah. Well, this year, you might not know this, but Hanukkah is on the first day of Christmas, or Christmas Day is also the first day of Hanukkah. I don't know what that means, but I do know that it's Jewish. I do know that,
the weird thing about that, Hallie, is I've never seen a Jewish person play one.
Play what?
A Hanukkah.
Oh, the instrument?
Yeah.
Oh,
have you
good
ever seen?
point.
I'm like, look, because like.
Well, I think Adam Sandler plays one.
Oh, really?
He
Okay.
does comedy videos. My kids love them. But the problem with that is they're laughing and entertained. And they think, he's funny and he's SNL and he's all these things that they're supposed to revere.
He's not.
Or
He's
whatnot.
lame.
But he's also inadvertently teaching them about Hanukkah and all these different traditions that are not of the kingdom.
But I just don't understand because it's like, yeah, they talk about Hanukkah all the time, but you just never absolutely, you just never see them play one. And I'm like, hey, you talk about it all the time. How about you pick one up and give us a little tune?
I mean, the tune could be. I
don't know,
Hallie. That is a joyful tune. Oh, that's a joyful tune. Any hoodles.
That might be it.
You want to call it? What are we at? How long was it?
I think we got it. Hour and 2.
But we still had a few suggestions. I guess we could use them for next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfecto. Well, cool. I mean, it was full circle back to the song.
Yeah.
Hey, happy holidays, folks. That was an episode. Thanks for the suggestion.
I was thinking during this episode, I was like, when we started Mega, I was like so intentional about it always being like intellectually rigorous.
And now you're like, that was so dumb. That Gray thinks Hanukkah means harmonica. We'll be back in your ears this week. I hope everybody.
But I didn't get to say what is probably okay. Of like what I was doing to head them off at the pass.
Oh, what?
Well, do
you want to do it real quick?
We can just add it onto it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It'll be truncated. It'll be like a cliffhanger.
Wait, to head off your daughter at the pass?
I was just going to say that I did something to sneakily incorporate Hanukkah. It was one of our suggestions
Oh,
that I incorporated Hanukkah with Christmas. I was just going to say I decorated the tree blue and silver,
got it.
but not necessary. I mean, did you all feel like there was a dangling joke that didn't get wrapped up?
Ash and Silver. Are
Ash
going-
and Silver was a suggestion from them. It's
I
so
know.
funny.
Good job, you all.
Y'all are funny. Y'all are good.
Ash, Silver, and Gray.
I hope y'all are feeling good. Man, it's funny. I love that dumb accent stuff. Just the dumbest
That Gray
accent stuff.
thinks he can do accents and just can't do anything.
Ash and Silver are going in the wiki. Also, poor CMB is getting the shit kicked out of him. Silver Daddy keeps going down.
So thanks y'all so much. We've had such a lovely year with you, and we'll be doing these again in the new year. Again, there are some changes afoot. Please stick with us as we make a little transition over to Supercast. It would be so nice to have you there. It's much better for you, I promise.
It's way better. It's way more user friendly. It's a way better platform, and they're gonna make it super easy to switch over. You're gonna have to like click 2 buttons. It's like gonna be so easy.
And yeah, if you have a friend who would love Mega, please share it with them, because we're going totally indie model this year. It's just the two of us doing this damn thing. No more network, and no more rep, no more salesperson, no nothing. So we're kind of just hoping to lean in on this little example of a small community making fun stuff. We're gonna sunset the Patreon,
You'll
and just essentially like move it to Supercast, which will be a easier way to just get, like, we can put out multiple different pods and different RSS feeds, and there's like an AMA kind of thing in there. So we'll do episodes like this based on the AMA.
It's great. It's a great platform, and I think you'll get an email.
You'll get an email, and it'll just
say click
migrate.
Here, click here. You'll migrate over. The Patreon will kind of go dark, and the Supercast will take off. And it's such a better place. It's so good. It's podcast specific, so it's going to help us do so much more and get more organized and be more regular with doing minis that are almost all based on AMA, and doing high streams, which will be very fun.
Yeah.
And all those things can live over there in separate sections. You'll be able to find what you're looking for more easily.
And the entire archive, the entire catalog of Mega will be in order and ad-free there. So, there's just been, it's kind of square peg round hole with Patreon and podcasts sometimes. So this is just going to be a cool way to get everything in one place with ad-free listening and all that stuff.
John Smith asks, is it Gray or Gray?
Gray.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks everyone. Thanks all for all your fun chat, and have a great holiday season in any way that you celebrate or don't.
And we have a haiku. Speak truth to power using tools of satire. Mega, the podcast. Is that what that's called? A haiku?
Feedback was
575.
Correct. Yeah, 575.
Nice.
An idea, feedback on what makes funny improv suggestions. I think the ones that are easiest for us are the ones that are open-ended, like starts of an idea. Like the less baked, the better, because then it helps us, because we can just take it in any direction. Like, or questions for Gray and Hallie are always easy.
Questions or like simple. I think like simple's always better.
Yeah, like would love to hear about blank, or like today was great. I think a lot of these were really easy. We do need to talk about the drones, though.
Oh, damn it. I want to do drones, and I wanted to do God's Thunder from Down Under Christian Burlesque charity event that CMB and Gray do.
Oh, that's great. But that's nice, because we can back pocket those for...
okay, we'll keep that one.
For a next episode.
And the drones. Yeah, what would Hallie and Gray say about the drones? I mean, I've been like doing reading about it, and I know our government is just being like, you dummies don't know the difference between a star and an airplane. And I'm like,
can spend some serious time on Reddit right now looking at weird photos. It's kind of fun. Okay, y'all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for
Love
being
you.
here. We love you. Happy holidays and
Happy New Year.
and may I put a blessing of warm love upon if you have the Sunday sads.
And will we be doing this next week?
I think this one we just recorded just now comes out this weekend.
Right, but are we doing a live stream next week, or we're going to be in South Bend? I think we're going to be traveling. So probably the next
2
time
weeks
you'll
from
see us
today.
is January 5th. So we'll see you then.
And when should we do another high stream? And
we got to do some kind of new goal. Maybe the goal will be if we can get everybody to migrate over to Supercast, we'll do our next high stream, and that'll be in January sometime.
Okay.
I
clearly am just like wanting to get high. Although that was like that we got really high. I mean, it would have been a disaster with our Christmas lights. If we had fucked it up as badly as we did that day.
All right. God bless us, everyone.
Love you. Have a good one. Mwah.